What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to the channel. So today, jumping back into some Marvel Future Fight content, as I wanted to go over, take a look at the characters, and first of all, I want to take a look at the vote. So we'll take a look at the characters, my impressions of them in their skill updates, and but first off, what I want to look at is this new poll that we have. So if you go inside the your inbox and then to the notice tab, you're going to notice that you have the 2024 hero poll. That's a survey, and basically for completing the hero poll you get 50 crystals, so it's not bad. So the survey is very simple. It wants you to choose 3 of a selected 15 characters from the game that we would like to see updated in 2024. I hold this with very little bit grain of salt, just because of the fact that we've seen these polls before around the same times of year. I mean, I don't know how long we've been asking for Havoc. We finally got Omega Red after all of that time that we asked for him so long ago. I think there were other characters that we looked to get updated as well, and we haven't seen them quite yet. So this one is just a little bit weirder because the 15, it asks us to select which characters we want to see updated out of 15 hero lists, which just feels like, what's going on? So in the list, we've got War Machine, Mr. Fantastic, Psylocke, Sentry, Null, Quicksilver, Doctor Doom, Crescent, Hulk, Medusa, Emma Frost, Apocalypse, Agent Venom, Weapon Hex, and Anti-Man. Now, it's a little bit weird because out of the whole list, it was strange to see some of these characters pulled out, like War Machine, for instance. Why is War Machine in there? Are we going to possibly see War Machine in the upcoming Marvel movies that we might not be known about? I don't know. So like War Machine's a real throw off one. Mr. Fantastic, I just readily assumed that we wouldn't see any Fantastic Four characters getting updates until the MCU introduced Mr. Fantastic, but who knows, because you know that's like not even next year, that's like a year after. So seeing a Fantastic update take that long just quite doesn't make sense. I mean, those characters are like Marvel's first family. They need to be updated at this point. Psylocke, I would love to see her updated. Sentry, I think this is probably the best character in the list to get an update, simply because we still haven't seen the Sentry Void character update that we wanted, where basically you have a Void version that could do something like Mephisto or whatever of Sentry, and you can make him evil or you can make him good, and he would be prone for T4. Not to mention, he's part of the goddamn Epic Quest. So like, give the characters that are in Epic Quest some feasibility, some usability inside here. It would be really nice. Null is a world boss legend, so it'd really be good for him to get an update and maybe have that update reflected. To be honest with you, and quite frank, and none of the world boss legend characters, with the exception of Jean Grey, quite feel as powerful when we're playing the character as they should feel, to be perfectly honest. Then we got Quicksilver. I think, you know, a lot of people would be very happy to see a Quicksilver update. X-Men update overall would be good. I think for me, top on my list is Doctor Doom. Truthfully, he's on my top of my list of characters in the game currently that, you know, should probably receive an update, especially to the T4 level. The reason why I say that is because Doctor Doom has a shite ton of looks that they can pull from the comics to update him, give him his T4. I would love to see this character get an update. Crescent, OG character, she just does not keep up with the rest of the OG characters. Sherrog, Luna Snow, she's just not keeping up. To be honest with you, I don't think that this is going to move any needles. And then it's surprising, Hulk on the list, he's already T4. So basically you're just giving him a uniform. So it's not an update. Like that becomes the question, right? Like, how does that, is that an update for the character if he just receives a uniform? It becomes one of those things where it's optimization. Medusa getting an update would be really good. They need to just go back to the Inhumans and basically do an Inhumans update and give a team up collection for the Inhumans, and then update the rest of the Inhumans behind her. I mean, most of those characters are just prone and ready for transcendence more than anything else, but Medusa would be a nice update overall. Emma Frost, fits right there in that villain kind of category of, you know, give her an update and a T4, and I don't think very many people would complain, especially if you probably made her like, you know, a foil to some of the current T4 characters in the game, especially with her diamond shield, and give her some reflect, some high level reflect on characters. I think of all of them, this is probably the one that intrigues me the most, is Apocalypse. There's a lot of directions they could go with Apocalypse, and this is like a character, notwithstanding, that has been popular and enduring across X-Men, the entire canon of the series. So I would love to see this. Agent Venom, I'm just like, why did he fall in on the list? And then he just received an update not too long ago. Weapon Hex on the list, why? Like, I mean, really, why? And then you got like Ant-Man. Ant-Man's the only character on here that I believe is just tier 2. So like, this goes into the problem of them not contributing in a proper way to their character development or how they're building out the game. Because we remember we had the Ultimates way back when, and it was Ant-Man, Blue Marvel, and Sam Alexander Nova. And those characters, Sam Alexander got his Transcendence, Blue Marvel got his tier 3, even though it was a lackluster tier 3, and then Ant-Man has been left behind, almost forgotten about. Now, the problem with asking for an Ant-Man update is that basically you get him to like T3, and like, that's the problem with the game right now. We're so far beyond tier 3 at this point, and the fact that they're still introducing tier 2 characters and just leaving them off, or introducing transcendent characters without uniforms, or uniformed characters without transcendent, just makes no sense. We've got more than enough tier 4s that we have basically surpassed tier 3, essentially. So it's like hard to go here for Ant-Man, though I would like to see an update for him. But on the top of my list, it would be Apocalypse, Dr. Doom, and Sentry. Those would be my top 3 inside the list that I would like to see updated in 2024. Let me know in the comment section below, whom would you like to see? I think it's a very interesting proposition that they give to us, where they're basically saying that they're going to update these 15 characters, because it's going to be hard for me to believe, like, I think I have this off in the background as well. I think it's going to be hard for me to believe that there's not some intention behind choosing these 15 characters. Like, we essentially have 20 something, 250 plus characters in the game at this point. Not to mention we're continually getting some new characters inside the developers note that they gave us. We're getting more new characters. So I find it hard to believe that there's not some intent behind the heroes list. It's just really weird to whittle down 15 characters out of 250 and basically give us that list to choose from. So I really think that at some point, you know, you could end up seeing an update with all of these characters, and you can sort of probably start looking at like, where in the update can you find tie-in effort, basically, right? So like, if you were to look, for instance, and say like, could I do a War Machine update, and who would he probably come along with inside of an update patch, right? Dr. Doom could be one of those. We could see a Fantastic Four update, and we could see Mr. Fantastic and Dr. Doom T4'd in that same update. Mr. Fantastic in the lead as like maybe the front runner with the Fantastic Four characters, and then Dr. Doom in like the mid-month or something like that, right? You could potentially see like a Sentry, a Psylocke and a Psylocke and an Emma Frost update basically come inside the game, and basically those characters would be tied in together. I don't know that which of these two they would give a T4. They could potentially give both of them T4s. Like, that's where you could start seeing like some parity over the next 12 months in terms of who's coming next, right? But ultimately, I think like characters that we really do need, especially like we've seen inside like Otherworld Battle, getting a Dr. Doom and Apocalypse, like these are characters that kind of double up. Like Null is another one of those. It doubles up on the game, because you could start introducing where like Apocalypse gets a uniform or a new design, and his World Boss Ultimate basically can then be plussed up to World Boss Legend, because you're then giving that new uniform. And you could potentially just leave the World Boss Ultimate, the World Boss Ultimate the way it is, where Apocalypse is represented in there prior to his uniform, and then you can give him his World Boss Legend top up where that uniform is now in play. You could do null where his World Boss Legend maybe gets plussed up as well through his uniform to maybe like World Boss Legend Plus. There's some feasibility there where you could say like I can find ground for the game to have content along with just character updates. I think like a Dr. Doom could be representative of a whole new World Boss Legend. You know what I mean? Like he is that kind of character, especially if you went like God Emperor Doom, for instance, you know, and you gave us the white suited Doom. Like he could be representative of a whole new World Boss Legend inside the game, like World Boss Legend content inside the game. So not only giving him a uniform, but also giving him the World Boss. There are ways that they could play this out so that way we get not only these updates for these heroes, but content as well. We'll have to see what they hold over the course of 2024. I'm probably going to go move more towards strictly free to play with Marvel Future Fight in 2024. But, you know, I haven't 100% committed to it. But we'll see. Right now at the point I have, but we'll, like, you know, for the past month I have, but we'll see. It's a good, nice vote. I think people in the comment section are generally like choosing characters that they want and don't seem to be totally against what it is. I know the one character that they didn't have on the list at all that just pisses me off and that we haven't had an update for is my man right here, Richard Rider, Nova. At this point, I'm just like, what's going on? Like, you know, he's still tier 2, and the way they treat Epic Quest doesn't give players a whole lot of reason to go back to Epic Quest. So I would like to see my man get his update. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, peace.